Mr. War Report coming live every Tuesday at 7 with Steve, Cat, Ryan, Amanda, and Eric. And the voice of NEW, Vince Berry. Hitting all the topics like a clothesline flurry. Turn up your speakers and hear them out. You can listen from your car, even on your couch. They too raw, who NXT? Handing out SmackDowns, follow on IG. Plus, it's sponsored by Tag Me a Date. Go to YouTube and sub now for every update. It's all wrestling here. No safe space. Now listen in. Time to hear from some of the greats. Yeah, you don't even know me. Yeah, you don't even know me. You don't even know me. Yeah, you don't even know. 16 bars.
Where all my hookers at?
Kiss these balls, bitch, we stars. Fuck that shit, you ain't had
An
like
impressive
friends.
debut.
This is no longer the War Report. This is now the Hook Report. We'll spend 1 hour talking about how great Hook is. If you don't like it, you can
Send
get
the
the fuck
book. Send the book.
out. Send Hook. Send him
Send the
everywhere.
book.
Send this guy to the fucking moon. Like he's. We'll get into it. But ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the War Report. That's Bronsolini, the White Bronco, Action Bronson, licensed by Tony Khan and AEW. For Hook.
2 pumps from the inhaler got me feeling like Doris Taylor. 2 kisses on the cheek from my tailor.
It is a great shirt. It's a great song. It's a great debut. Hook is now AEW. A proud moment for Taz.
He's a man.
I mean, fucking A. It's welcome everyone to the War Report podcast.
How you doing today? Yeah, the War Report. Holy shit, guys. We gotta back up the bus a little bit on this Hook thing, just for people that aren't aware. Put that one up, Steve, please. Where is it? I'll do it. There we go. Hook for president. I agree. Just so people know, Hook. It kind of started off as a meme because Hook just stood there in the background and like mean mugged the camera. He never really said anything. He very rarely got involved in the action. You're like, what is this fucking guy? And he's always wearing a sweatshirt.
Yeah.
Like you never really got a read on him. You're like, who's this fucking guy? Yeah. And it just kind of became a meme of like, oh boy, Hook is gonna be like, Low-key is gonna be a superstar. Like he's wearing all this shit, and all of a sudden he's gonna be an amazing like. That was the hype. Like he was going to be like a Super Saiyan or something in disguise. And you know what? He did a damn good job for a 3 or 4 minute match. Yeah. Very impressed. Not just the match. Yeah. He came out confident. He didn't look nervous. He looked like he'd been there before. He acted like he'd been there before. He walked to the ring like he.
I love that he like showed like no disrespect. Right. Went in the corner. He had his back turned to his opponent.
He turned his back to Fuego, and that look that he get, he's just like, it doesn't. Like, and then he walked away. He walked away after he won. He didn't even let the referee raise his hand.
Locked in the Taz mission, or what he calls it, Red Rum.
Red Rum.
Locked it in, done, left. I was like, that's how you do it. He doesn't get paid by the hour, right?
Yeah, and I mean, listen, it was good. It didn't overexpose him. It didn't go too long, and he was in there with the right dance partner. Fuego is very good.
Yeah,
people, there's a reason he's with AEW. He's on the bottom of the totem pole, but he serves a very important role in that. He's very, very, he's very good wrestler.
Almost like the Barry Horowitz of this time, if you will.
Yes, absolutely. But that friggin' he's like that. Yeah, because he's definitely Barry Horowitz because he's a step up from like the Brooklyn.
But actually, he actually has a couple of more W's, I believe, than Barry Horowitz.
Oh yeah, and that's the thing, Fuego, and that's why the Fuego thing works is that he can get a couple wins and be believable winning, and then run into a brick wall or a hook in this case. Holy shit, that was just the. I mean, I'm so happy because if he went out there and stunk, I would have been so disappointed after all the hype and him being on. Winter is Coming last year, I think, was his first like real appearance. He's only been on TV for a year. He's barely said 2 words, and he this was the first time we've even seen him in his gear.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think he had said any words. I don't ever see that kid say anything.
The only time I saw him say anything was one time when I think Taz was asking if they're good. And he said, "Hook, you good?" And he just goes, "I'm good." I think that's the only 2 words he's ever said on TV was, "I'm good."
That's it.
And then
so listen,
he offered chips to Dante Martin. I like that, the little offering people chips thing. I don't know.
So listen, before we dive deep, I figured we'd start off with AEW talk since we didn't cover AEW last week, and then we'll touch a little bit on Raw and SmackDown, right? But one thing I do want to start off with, I think it's something that we should talk about first, outside of Hook, because we all knew we were starting there. But we did lose. Somebody, Jimmy Rave, who quite honestly was suffering, for a very long time. Yeah. So yeah, he's officially gone. I didn't realize the impact he had on people, really.
Yeah.
Because he never really had a big impact on me. I got to be honest. I didn't really know much about him. I didn't really focus on him. I knew he was going through what he was going through. But you see the shit coming out from the locker rooms all across the world.
Yeah.
So rest in peace, man. It sucks. I always hate talking about, this kind of shit on the show, but
especially because of the situation where he had one leg amputated like last year or the year before, and then over the summer lost his other leg and one of his arms. So actually last week or the week before, Mick Foley just raised like $20,000 at a charity autograph signing on his behalf for medical expenses and living expenses. Because what do? You have one limb out of 4. Like I don't know where you get a job. Like you can't. So Mick, of course, being Mick Foley, the saint that he is, did a charity thing. I think he gave away some memorabilia, autograph pictures and stuff like that. And then people donated. All the proceeds went to Jimmy Rave. It was like $20,000, $21,000, somewhere in there. But Jimmy Rave, for those of you who weren't really aware, was a big deal in the early 2000s to mid 2000s. Was a very big deal. I saw a lot of hype for him online before I even saw him wrestle. Jimmy Rave was the crown jewel of the Embassy. Prince Nana ran a very popular group for many years in Ring of Honor called the Embassy, and Jimmy Rave would consider the crown jewel. I'm Facebook friends with Prince Nana, and he's been making posts with old photos, and he seems to be taking it pretty hard, so I hope he's doing well. But Jimmy Rave was, like I said, the crown jewel of the Embassy. He had a long-standing feud with AJ Styles in Ring of Honor where he stole the Styles Clash. What people would do is, because he was such a good bad guy, when they threw streamers for AJ Styles in the same way that they would do this, throw streamers for people, when Jimmy Rave came out, they would throw rolls of toilet paper instead. So that was, that's one of my earliest memories of Jimmy Rave was, watch this Jimmy Rave entrance. They all throw toilet paper at him. It was just, and then he was in the Rock and Rave Infection on TNA. That was with Lance Archer back when he was Lance Hoyt. And with Christy Hemme. He was the NWA Junior Heavyweight Champion for a bit. He did a stint in Japan with New Japan, and I don't know if it was Noah or somewhere else, but he was all over the place, man. It was one of those things where it sounds like, per his obituary, there were some addiction problems that he was suffering from, and then of course, as the years went on, I guess his health, declined to the point where he needed these amputations. And he even, I had read an interview with him over the summer when this all started happening with the second round of amputations, and he was talking about, it's my own fault. Rather than getting it checked out, I just put it off, and then I kept wrestling, and I put it off, and I put it off, and then there was a point where I couldn't wrestle, but I still, it was something solvable, unfortunately, and treatable at least. But not at that point. He could have, if he had gotten attention to it years earlier, could have probably had it managed where he wouldn't have had such a situation. But it's tough, man. He was 39.
That's my age.
Yeah, I'm 34, maybe 35 soon. Like, yeah, it's just weird to think like all of the things that you have to do in your own life the next day. You're like, I'm gonna wake up tomorrow. I got all this shit to do, and like in 5 years, I've still got shit to do. And this guy had a lot more to do. In his capacity, even a living Jimmy Rave with one arm and no other limbs is way better than a dead Jimmy Rave, unfortunately. But if he was in pain and he was suffering, that's all gone now, and that we can kind of take peace in that. But goddamn, man, I really hate hearing when an older wrestler passes away. It's kind of like, you get it. When a guy that was 39 passes away, it's just like awful. It's the worst.
No, definitely. Yes, my sincere condolences to the family.
Absolutely. No joke here, man. It's a really tragic situation. So we'll try and go on from there, but it's just rough, man. 39 years old is way too fucking young.
Definitely.
Yeah, no, it's a horrible situation. I moving on to AEW Dynamite. So the show kicks off Long Island, home of MJF.
Oh, wow.
And CM Punk comes out to MJF's music, which is fucking always great. And then he comes out and he's now the heel and he roasts Long Island.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Cooking.
It was awesome. It was awesome.
I don't watch hockey. Like, he was really roasting the Islanders like hard.
Yeah, I think that's their only. It's their only pro sports team there.
It was like wow.
He roasted the hell out of them, and then they go to commercial, and they come back, and the first match is going to be this battle royal. The Diamond, what was it? The Dynamite Diamond Battle Royal or something. And of course MJF is in it, so now he comes out and
with that amazing sports car and the NFL like announcing, right?
that high school Letterman jacket.
Yes.
That package was awesome. Like everything about it was great. And then he comes out and he's in this battle royal and he's doing the MJF deal. He's just not participating. He's doing whatever he can to let everyone else do the work.
Wardlow the entire match. Right. He would at one point I seen him like snuck off. He hit a couple of guys and then he went right behind Wardlow again. Like
he'd hide behind Wardlow.
And that's it.
And then of course he turns, like Tara says, on Wardlow and throws him out. Which was awesome.
Two other people. Like he eliminated 3 people.
Yeah. Wardlow was I don't know for who he was battling. He had 2 other guys with him, and Wardlow was like in the mountain. He came out and scooped all of them. Oh, it was dope. I don't know who it was.
Yeah, Wardlow is like they're obvious. Now they're finally really going to pull that trigger on Wardlow turning on MJF. And when Wardlow had that match, I guess 2 weeks ago now, where he powerbombed the guy and then just kept powerbombing the guy, and every time he powerbombed him, the crowd went nuts. I'm like, he's ready. He's next. TNT title, whatever the fuck it is. He's ready. Like Wardlow is gonna. I'm so happy for the future of AEW. Guys who they haven't even turned the switch on, like Wardlow is ready, and Hook. Like those guys are waiting in the wings while you've already got Sammy and MJF and Jungle Boy and Darby and all these young and Ricky Starks. Everybody sleeps on Ricky Starks too. Like you have all this young talent. 10 from the Dark Order. Preston Vance. They haven't pulled the trigger on him yet. They have so many young guys that are going to be huge stars.
Oh, without question, huge stars. But it was a great battle royal, and then MJF winds up winning. He won, right? Yeah.
It was the final 2. It was him and
the final 2.
Dante Martin.
Right.
Dante Martin, formerly of
Top Flight. For a second, can I talk about this guy for a second? I don't know what they're doing with this kid because he signs, correct me if I'm wrong, 2 weeks ago, signs a contract with Team Taz.
Right.
And then in his first ever match with Team Taz, he goes and fucking takes off the armband and then tosses it
Yeah.
And it's like they're just he's with Team Taz, he's not with Team Taz. He's with fucking Leo Rush, he's not with Leo Rush. He's with fucking what's his name? Evan Bourne?
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
not Evan Bourne. What do you
Right,
call this guy's name?
right,
Matt Sydal. Matt
yeah.
Sydal. He's not with what are they doing with this kid? He's just like a little faction whore. Like he's going from one to one to one to one to another.
I'm hoping.
What are they doing with this?
My hope is that the plan for this is he can't stick with one partner because he is so used to tag teaming with his brother who's currently injured.
So that's kind of what this all is.
That's what I think. That's what I hope it is. Because
it could be
the big for me payoff would be he can't figure out which faction, whatever. They're all starting to beat him up. Team Taz is going after him, and the brother comes out, and maybe top flight would be the two Martin brothers and Leo Rush with them, because that would be like a cool trio.
Well, we already have a lot of. I just gotta say this: he is
a faction whore.
He's great, yeah. He's under contract with Team Taz, and you already see what's gonna happen. They're gonna send Hook.
Yeah, because Taz was talking about, I have to talk to my lawyers, this, that, and the other thing about what the repercussions are. No, I think it's just going to be send Hook. The one thing that, Max Caster brought it up in a rap. Dante Martin always looks like he's about to cry. Like, I don't know what the face, he's trying to do like an intense face, and he ends up looking like I'm like, he's young, he'll get it, but he just looks so sad. Like he looks sad all the time. Like, cheer up, Dante.
It's like someone pissed in his Cheerios. I don't know. Something. It's just always horrible. I don't know. But yeah,
so we've got a match now, Wednesday. Winter is coming. Where Dante Martin and MJF face off for the Dynamite Diamond Ring. I mean, here's the thing. MJF has already won it twice. He doesn't necessarily need to win it again. But is Dante Martin, like of all the people in the match, you'd think like a Ricky Starks or somebody else, like somebody kind of in the upper mid card would be challenging MJF. But they're kind of taking this guy who's in the lower card and elevating him by matching up with MJF. But does that just mean that MJF being in the rankings wise and all that, being a more experienced and older wrestler and higher ranked, is this just setting up for MJF to retain again? Like, I don't know what the resolution of this is going to be.
No, I mean, I have no idea neither. I mean, unless they're really trying to push this Dante kid. I mean, I don't think he needs it. I think MJF actually should just repeat it. I mean, and go from there. I don't know.
Just make it a thing that MJF constantly wins this ring.
Yeah, exactly. Just might as well. He's going to be the Tom Brady with that ring. He's going to have so many championships. It's going to be disgusting.
That's something to shoot for, though. That's not a bad idea to have like something like that where it's like, okay, this is MJF always wins this thing,
always wins it,
even though he only wrestles like 3 times a year, but when he does, he nails it.
He nails it exactly.
What else happened on Dynamite? I remember enjoying the heck out of that show, but I'm trying to see exactly what happened. Anyway, long story short, Brian Danielson, whatever, came out, and this time he was facing, because this is was this in Atlanta? No, this was, who did he face this week?
No, the shows were all in Long Island.
They were in Long Island. Oh, that's right. Yeah. So it was Silver.
Rampage and
yeah. So Brian Danielson faced Silver and beat him. But then afterwards, he said, I kicked this one's head in. Head kicked in, head kicked in, head kicked in. Oh, wait. And he didn't actually do the I kicked his head in thing during the match. So then he just starts doing it after the
match. Back and started doing it. Amazing.
Yeah. And Hangman comes out finally, face to face, whatever. And I'm going to kick the cowboy shit out of you. Like, damn. I hope he wins. Like, it would be such a bummer. Tara says hello. I don't know. We don't know why her info is not coming up, but that's definitely Tara in the comments.
I want to say this because I know where you're about to go.
Yeah.
Number one, I agree with you. There's no way he could lose right now. Like, it took forever for him to become champion. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, he can't lose on
but
that first.
Here's the other thing too. Going back to MJF CM Punk for a minute. MJF has to win. He has to win this match. he has to be CM Punk's first loss. It's got. I'm okay with Fugazi. I'm okay
Right.
with with the heel win.
Yeah.
Whether it's feet on the
Like how he
ropes,
beat
pulling
Darby,
the tights. Whatever the fuck you got to right. Like if you use the ring, I don't give a fuck. But in my opinion, MJF has to win. Maybe not in the end, but the initial battle. I don't know. What do you guys think?
I agree 100%. I believe MJF definitely has to win this match. I mean, it's Punk's obviously over. Like, no one's more over than CM Punk.
Over.
So
Punk doesn't need a win.
He doesn't need it. They call him he's at that Cena stage, right? Like that's kind of where he's at right now.
So this question here is actually a good one. Is CM Punk going to fight Colt Cabana or what? Tired of waiting. Well,
that's a great question because can they keep it professional is the question.
The other day, and people made a big deal out of it. I'm not one to make a big deal out of this because I really don't know the situation, but CM Punk posted a picture on Instagram or something, or on his Instagram story, and it was a picture of CM Punk, Colt Cabana, and one other person, but he blew the picture up big enough where Colt Cabana was out of it, and it was just him and the other guy, and he tagged the other person that was in the photo, and people are like, here's the real photo with Colt in it. Did he purposely cut out Colt Cabana because they're like still not talking to each other after all these years? And holy shit, if that's the case.
Yeah.
I mean, I for one personally, that's the and no respect. I mean, I believe Tara's the one that said that. With all due respect, I personally don't want to see that match. I don't have an interest in seeing Colt versus CM Punk. It's not. It's they have legal, issues, and I don't think it has to be a match. And now, is it even a money match? That's another thing. Is it? I don't think it would.
It would be. It wouldn't necessarily be a money match. It would be one of those things that like internet people would be really into.
I guess. Yeah.
You know what? I'm down to see that match because there's a lot of true.
Keep it together.
There's a lot of true heat there, and I think that would make for a good. It could be another Edge,
it would be an
Matt Hardy type of situation.
But how do you market? Like, how do you market a match that's based on a lawsuit from WWE in AEW? Like, I'm just trying to think of like how do you address that? Like, everybody knows it's about a WWE based lawsuit. I don't know. Oh, and just one other thing, since it was brought up here, CM Punk took a picture with Danhausen. It's like an open secret that Danhausen is going to be signing with AEW as soon as he broke his leg 2 or 3 weeks ago, tibia and fibula, unfortunately. So he is incapacitated, can't wrestle. But it's my belief, especially because Tony Khan already said on a podcast, I think it was the Your Mom's Basement podcast on Barstool Sports. There's also the Wrestling podcast that a lot of AEW guys go on, also on Barstool. It's Wrestling just with an R, Rasslin. It's kind of been hinted at, even by Tony Khan. Tony Khan said, "Oh, I'm aware of Danhausen. I know exactly who he is." So I feel like he's coming in. If you haven't seen Danhausen before, he's not going to blow you away with his wrestling. He's not a bad wrestler. I don't want to say that. He's fine.
Yeah.
He's at a level where you could put him on TV. Right. You can put him on TV with the way he wrestles. It's not about the wrestling. It's about this character. He's like, I don't know if you guys watch the old horror stuff, Sven Gulli. He's like Pazuzu. Like, I don't know. He's like this weird, like a crypt keeper kind of character mixed with Pee Wee Herman. Honestly, Pee Wee Herman, because he does the tequila dance. And like, it's fun. He has a jar of human teeth that he carries around. And then sometimes he'll take he'll shake the jar of like teeth out, and he'll put it in the person's mouth, and then super kick them, and they spit the teeth out. So I don't know if they're actually really human teeth or if they're just a jar of fake human teeth. But whatever it is, it's funny as hell. And he's known as very nice, very evil Danhausen. He wants lots of human money and enough money to buy a blimp. That was one of his ambitions, is to buy a blimp.
He's fucking weird, but it works. Weird.
It's great. He has his own coffee. Like, what? He has his own. Like, you can go to some website, you put in Danhausen coffee, and like some roaster somewhere has a Danhausen coffee. And like, Hot Topic sold Danhausen Halloween masks last year.
Wow,
crazy shit. So, it would be an interesting. I wonder where he would fit in, because well, against somebody like an Orange Cassidy, I guess, because he's more of a comedy character. But I don't know, dude. Like it'll be interesting to see where Danhausen would fit into the scope of AEW. But I think he's definitely getting signed as soon as he's back from injury. And Eric is joining the show.
I don't get that character at all.
I had a feeling because you don't like Orange Cassidy, so
no.
You're not on the Danhausen bandwagon.
I saw this. I'm like, who the fuck is this shit?
Yeah. What is that?
No beating around the bush on that one.
I will say this too. AEW, both Dynamite and Rampage were great as usual.
Worth checking out, man. Solid shows, and I mean Hook's debut. What more can I say?
Yeah,
Hook's
I mean
debut,
it was an all around great. It had what's funny is they had they always compare the amount of wrestling they have versus like a 3-hour Raw.
Right.
It's just insane. I mean, it's how much more actual wrestling you get with AEW. I also want to point out too, there is a video. I shared it with the group, and I'm sure you can find it somewhere. But there is a video of MJF coming back out to the crowd when the show was off the air with Tony Khan. Came out to Billy Joel and cut a promo. Working the face as a Long Island boy. Cut a great promo. Shit on Chicago. Shit on Punk. And it was a cool moment. It's like a 3-4 minute video. You should definitely
then he went outside the ring and charged people.
Facebook user props to Fuego putting Hook over too. Absolutely. We touched on that earlier. He was the right guy to do it. That's for sure.
Definitely. Oh, and I can't not mention the return of Sue and Trent Beretta. That was a moment. I will never not be excited when that white van pulls out and Sue is driving it and Trent gets out of it. Like, what a moment. And then he comes back and helps them, and then Chris Statlander brings his mom and they do the best friends hug with the mom, and it's everybody that it's great. That's so cool. And the fans are chanting for Sue, and he has to show her where the camera is so she knows where to stand. The whole thing is fucking great. And now Sue is on Cameo. So if you want to get somebody a Christmas present, you can get a cameo from Sue.
Mrs. Bagwell 2.0. No.
Honestly, yeah. R.I.P. Mrs. Bagwell. You know what? You got to respect that these guys, they bring the guys. It's his real mom. What more could you ask for? So
well, listen, that's what's so great with MJF too, and his mother, and the shit that she puts on Twitter. They were there live, and they had a sign. They're fucking great. I actually reached out to his mom on Twitter to accept my invitation to chat privately so we can try and get her on the show. She has not responded. But there
are probably people out there asking her for a lot worse that she doesn't answer DMs.
Yeah. I was like, listen, we'll offer you money too. I got no response. But listen, unless anyone has anything else they want to add in regards to AEW,
just watch it. People are skeptical about this shit. It's fun. It's a fun.
Oh, definitely watch the show.
Rampage is an hour and Dynamite's 2 hours. Just sit down and watch one. If you don't like it, you don't like it. But at least give it a shot. It's fun. It's wrestling. That's what I like about it. Like you said, Steve, when you look at the times, 3 hours of Raw will have 20 minutes of wrestling, and I'm exaggerating, but AEW has a 60-40 split or a 70-30 split of wrestling to the talking. There's just way more talking and story on WWE programming. And then the matches suffer for it because then you'll have a whole tournament like the Queen of the Ring tournament or the Queen's Crown tournament where the tournament itself lasted 19 minutes and one match from the AEW Women's TBS title tournament was 19 minutes. So their whole tournament was the length of one match from the other company. That's really all you need to know.
Kat is willing to give up her entire paycheck to get MJF's mom on. So Mrs. Friedman, if you are listening, because why would you ever fucking listen to our show? But if you are listening, please feel free to accept my offer. Kat is willing to pay top dollar.
No. She's willing to pay Mrs. MJF. She's not willing to pay. Well, nobody's willing to pay top dollar right now.
Yes.
I would pay top dollar at you, motherfucker. No,
Yeah, no,
don't start that shit right now.
I don't know how I just decided to start an internet feud with Top Dollar, but he hasn't said anything yet. So maybe
listen, I'm gonna get Top Dollar on the fucking show, and I'm gonna have him roast the shit out of you.
That's what you need to get. Try to get him on the show. That'll be.
Let me tell you, all I can say is, I'm already working on it.
Wow, there we go.
No, we'll leave it at that. Now,
excellent.
I think we should move.
Ryan, clip this.
Good.
We'll put it on Instagram, and then we'll get his mother's attention somehow.
Consolation prize.
Roll your windows up, Eric.
My mother is a.
Oh no, sorry.
I swear to God, they're all the way up, and I have no AC on.
It sounds like you're on a racetrack.
Well, people are being douchebags.
So listen, I think we should shift now over to the other wrestling shows. Unfortunately, we do have to start with the obvious. Of course, it happened right after the show. After we said we really hope this doesn't lead to another release. And of course, a day or two later, Jeff Hardy was wished the best in his future endeavors. The rumor is they offered him rehab and he declined said rehab and they've released him over it. There are people that are saying that he purposely did it so that he could leave and go to AEW and be with Matt Hardy. There's rumors that he passed all drug tests. I don't know what to believe. At the end of the day, I just wish him all the best. Jeff Hardy is just one of those guys, man. Like I've had the pleasure of working so many fucking shows with him and his brother. Like just super cool dude. And I mean, listen, it's an issue. If it is the drugs, if it is alcohol, I just wish him that he gets the help he needs and all the best. Right. But it doesn't sound to me like that's the issue right now. What are you guys hearing? What are you guys thinking?
So I mean, I saw a picture of him and with Matt on Twitter. I don't know if you guys saw it, and it had a picture of
and all the kids
and the Hardy Boys. Yeah. All the Hardy Boys are there. It looked like he's happy, man. It looks like he's good to be with his brother. I was kind of saying this, if you guys remember the chat, before any of this came out, I was saying that maybe he kind of legitimately maybe missed being with that side of family. You know, you're working for WWE, you're on that road, you're grinding, you're back visiting, you're doing live events, you're doing so much. AEW is a lighter schedule.
Yeah, right? I mean, not to get too
but so you kind of give the perception that you fell off the wagon to get released because you know that they're going to tell you that they're going to tell you have to go into rehab. And if not, we're going to have to let you go. That's coming because he's been through this before.
Yeah.
I just don't think that's like, I don't think, I mean, listen, I don't know, but can you, Vince, can you see Jeff Hardy like doing that just to go to I don't believe that's the reason.
No. So for earlier today, Matt Hardy on his live, absolutely right. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Why would you put your health?
100% agree with the Facebook user. 100%.
So here's what's going on here. Earlier today, was it earlier today or yesterday? Matt Hardy and Jeff Hardy were live on Twitch.
It was yesterday.
And it was yesterday.
That was yesterday, right? Yeah.
Days run together for me now.
Yeah,
anyway,
I agree.
They were on Twitch. They were talking about it. Basically, Matt and Jeff said that Jeff's doing okay. He has taken a drug test, an independent drug test, and they are waiting for those results to come back to prove that he was not on drugs at the time. So Tara's right about it being silly. So to follow up with that, I can't even talk today. Sean Ross Sapp. He just has too many S's in his name.
Yeah.
Sean Ross Sapp. Who's like a dirt sheet, internet wrestling reporter.
Pretty sure he was the first to drop it too. Like that's the first place I saw it was from him.
He spoke with the Hardy camp, the Hardy family, and asked directly to them, there's a rumor going around that Jeff faked being high or drunk at that show in order to get fired. and they said that's a ridiculous take that didn't happen that way. Here's my theory, and I think it ties into what you guys were saying earlier, because for most of their careers, aside for some points where one person was fired or whatever, and there was maybe one was in WWE and one was in TNA, but I would say for like 80% of their careers, they've been in the same company, whether it's WWE or Impact or wherever, working together. And they grew up together. They were very close brothers whose mother passed away. They were raised by their father, and unfortunately now the father has passed away. Not that they don't have their wives and kids, but Matt and Jeff they're the only family they got left, man. I don't know if they have aunts or uncles, but you know what I mean? Of their direct family of who lived with them when they were children.
Yeah, but Vince, let me ask you something. Hold on. So wait, are you saying that
I don't think he faked it? Here's what I think happened. I think he got so burned out that he was literally that was
just walking out,
saying, "I'm walking out." That's why he didn't walk backstage. That's why
he went through the crowd.
Out symbolically, he was so burned out that symbolically he had to walk away, and that was his way of doing it.
Yeah, that was it. He's just saying, "I'm done."
Not that he was faking, because I think it was very real. The way he was acting was very real. It was either as somebody who was disinterested, didn't want to be there, or somebody who was so, you've been on the road for so long doing the same goddamn thing, he might just be sick of it. And he just, maybe he could have stayed in the match and finished it and then said, "Hey guys, I want to take a break," and addressed it that way. But I think he just had it and walked away, because now it's not like he's stopping doing things. It's not like he's canceled any events. He's now added events where himself and maybe Parax Y-Gen, his band, are performing. He's performing live music over these he's got like 5 or 6 gigs over the next 4 or 5 weeks, I think it is, that they were talking
about. Hey, listen,
so,
maybe they didn't want to give him the time off to do these gigs, and maybe he just said, "You know what, fuck it, I want to do my music, and this is my way out." And
it's not like, and as long as, because here's the thing, a lot of people were just going, "Oh great, now Jeff Hardy can go to AEW."
He's still got 90 days, no? Or even longer.
Probably.
He's breaking his contract. He may have to be sidelined until his contract completely runs out.
Or when he refused rehab, did they just say he was released and that was it, and give him he has to do 90 days as of that day that he was released? I don't know.
Oh, that's possible too. But I'm sure that'll come out soon.
For me, and a lot of people online, there was backlash to this where people were saying, "Oh, great, he can just come to AEW now." First and foremost, Jeff Hardy, the person's personal health comes before everything else. If this is an issue with either drugs or alcohol, or if it's an issue of exhaustion, or his body's not holding up to wrestling, whatever it is, that should be the first priority, is making 100%. Sure that Jeff Hardy, the person, is okay. And then if he can wrestle and there are no problems that are going to make him fall off the wagon or do something wacky again, then yes, bring him back. And here's the difference. WWE probably wants him on the road every week.
Yeah.
AEW would only bring him in when they need him. And he wouldn't necessarily be on, he might be on TV, let's say 6 or 8 weeks in a row to build up to a pay-per-view match. But then after that match, he doesn't need to be, you don't see guys on every single show. Very rare, unless they're the world champion, usually. Or one of the champions. Yeah. It's not like their AEW is very good at cycling people in and out, getting them on TV, and then giving having other people take a back seat and then rotating out to another set of people, where you had your Dark Order crew, or your Team Taz guys, and some of them will wrestle and some of them won't, and some of them will be there 1 week, and Hobbs is taking care of business in California. That's what they'll say on TV. So
it just goes
a lighter schedule.
It just goes to, we say all the time, the amount of things that Tony Khan gets right.
Yeah.
Tony Khan gets it. He doesn't want his guys getting burnt out. You know what I mean? Right. He knows you get burnt out, you get sloppy. You get burnt out, you get sloppy, you get injured. You get injured, you injure others. Now, and now you're never coming, but you're never the same. As small as the injury is, you are not where you were ever again, and it just continues, so I agree. I his health comes first. I hope he's okay. I hope he does kick ass with the music, and not for nothing, I hope he does show up in AEW, and I hope the Hardy Boys and the Young Bucks go at it one more time, or
it'd be nice,
or the Lucha Brothers, or I mean, listen, there's a lot that can go down there. Listen, and for all we know, it could also be frustration with the fact that he wanted to do the Willow character. And there were all these rumors that the Willow character was coming, and then nothing ever happened with it.
And he had to fight to get his original No More Words. He had to fight to get that music back. Like it's his character, it's his music. Like the guy should at least have a say in what his entrance music is.
Yep.
Although I will say the Hardy Boy entrance music is always my favorite.
Original,
and
I like Mikey Ruckus's version. The what do they call it? The royalty-free version that they use on AEW for Matt Hardy. It sounds kind of like it. Like it's pretty good. It's not exactly the same, but it's like when Jimmy Hart used to copy "Smells Like Teen Spirit" or something for DDP. Like he just Jimmy Harted the song a little bit. It's not bad.
Self high five.
Oh my God, the estate of Kurt Cobain was so mad at them, but they couldn't really do anything because they changed just enough. Just enough.
Just flew just under the radar.
Right.
So, since we're back over now to WWE, I do want to talk about SmackDown because once again, I have to commend Brock Lesnar. Because the comedic role that he's playing right now, he's hitting a home run. He's doing a great job. All the little things like, hey, Pierce, I want to show you a picture. And he pulls out a fucking flip phone and he can't figure out how to use it and he breaks it. And he's talking about how he thanks him for the moose hunting and what he does to the moose and the moose meat. And, and I named him Pierce and smacking him hard on the back. Like everything about it, him with Zayn, like, you said you're Zayn, right, Sammy? And like, oh, we're friends from Canada. And like, just everything about it has been a home run. Another change, and then another tease with Heyman, who he does say, and soon to be future heavyweight champion. So now, are you Brock's advocate? Roman will be back this week, so that's going to be very interesting. SmackDown was a great show. I enjoyed SmackDown this week. That was just and let me tell you, fucking Heyman. I mean, everything from Shabbat Shalom to did I eat too many edibles from the fucking, listening to this bullshit? I mean, it's just everything was well written. It was executed, in my opinion. There's a lot that SmackDown has going on right now that's doing really well. Tony Storm, Charlotte Flair. I mean, that's getting interesting. Although I have to say, for their first match, it was pretty fucking sloppy. There were a lot of fuck ups from Tony Storm in that match.
Yeah,
surprisingly too.
Yeah, but and we had the debut of Xia Li, I think her name is. Right?
Yes.
Did I get that right?
Yeah.
I think you're right.
I love what they're doing with her. Making her this comic book Marvel fucking superhero, and then the entrance with the lightning graphics and the way she's doing, like, very cool. She also looked a little sloppy, I'm not going to lie. There were a couple of kicks that didn't really land. But, you get a buy. It's your first time out, but the look is there. The gimmick, I think, is going to work. So I'm a fan of her. I want to see where that goes. I don't know. What do you guys think overall SmackDown?
It's the better of the two shows.
Yeah, I mean,
we've been saying that for a while.
Yeah,
it's reflected in the ratings as well. Raw this week, I believe this past week, had their record lowest.
Did you see the pictures that went up about how fucking empty the arena was?
Depressing. Oh,
I mean, it looked like a fucking like an Impact house show from like 6 years ago.
Yeah. The whole hard camera side was empty, and then like the upper bowl was tarped off too. They tarped off the seats on the hard cam side, and then they moved everybody around the other side so the camera could see them. and somebody who was there wrote in a Raw report that there was the longest line to get in was the line for paid seat fillers.
Oh wow!
Which is like, that's not good. But I mean, I hate to say it, you're basically torturing people for 3 hours. Like, you're not even giving them. There's so many ad breaks and commercials, and then segments that are on TV, but they're advertising KFC, spicy golden honey ranch chicken barbecue assholes or whatever it is, and or Mountain Dew, or Subway's latest thing. Like, there are segments that are branded. It feels like a commercial. Like, it's just everything like, okay, I don't know if you saw this. I saw a commercial on TV the other day that kind of bugged me. Or was it on YouTube? Either way, it was Drew McIntyre. It's a toy commercial. Drew McIntyre pulls up on a motorcycle. He's like, "You like my motorcycle? Yeah." And then he's like, "Sometimes it breaks apart," and he like pulls the fucking handles off of it or whatever. And
I know what you're talking about.
And then he starts playing with the little kid with the action figure version of Drew with the motorcycle. This was the motorcycle that they had on TV like 3 months ago for no reason. Remember when he just started bringing, and they're like, "Oh my God, he drove his motorcycle to the stadium today." And then Jinder Mahal started like taking pieces off of the motorcycle. They're like, Drew is not the American Badass Undertaker. Why did he all of a sudden have an interest in motorcycles? It was for a toy. Like, oh my God, just to sell it. That was like when they did the they put Enzo in a shark cage. Or they put somebody in a shark cage in NXT.
It was also Paul Ellering in NXT.
Paul Ellering, they did it first. Yes, they put Paul Ellering in the cage in NXT, and then a couple months later they put Enzo in the shark cage, so they could sell the ring with the shark cage toy. Wow. It's just that really made me feel some kind of way. Who?
It's
Carmelo. No. Ellsworth, right? Is that what you said?
Yeah, Ellsworth.
Yeah, fuck. Ellsworth. Oh my God, remember that guy?
Yeah.
But there's a lot of aspects of the show. I mean, you get like with SmackDown, there's just so many things that they got going right in terms of story and what they got working, and the matches are delivering. Like even the greatest tag team in WWE today. So they had Kofi and King Woods with his new crown that looks awesome. And then it was Usos versus RK Bro. RK Bro segments are still killing. They're so great as a team.
SmackDown to watch these guys, the ratings were actually a little bit up this week, and the only new thing was that those guys were on it. So
it's just great, and what a fucking match. You know what I'm saying? Great match. With Woods and Kofi winning, which I was surprised. I thought it was actually going to be RK Bro, but it was such a great match, great finish. So there's just a lot going on. You got Boogs, you got Shinsuke. So, they got some good. Raw is just, we say time and time again with Raw, it's just so fucking long. It's 3 hours and it's just a lot of filler. There's times that you'll go the first 30 minutes and there's not a wrestling match, and it's, sometimes it's okay. Sometimes it's not, I'm enjoying what they're doing with Becky Lynch and Liv Morgan. I am very, very surprised in a positive way with Liv Morgan. She's getting better on the mic. Her in-ring ability is far surpassed what it was. You can see the confidence is starting to come out a little more. When you talk about the right opponent, Becky Lynch is the right opponent right now, title or not. I like the dynamic. I like what's going on. I like that they're going to have the rematch. Although, did they potentially just write Liv off with a injury? But that was a great segment with the arm. So I mean, there are some things that are working. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
But again, it's a 3 hour show. I mean, do I need to see Bobby Lashley? Who I do enjoy. I actually
back to Bobby Lashley, but goddamn,
I just do. I need to see 3 matches. Although that whole dynamic, because of the 3 people involved, it actually was entertaining. The backstage segments with Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins were great. And then all the shenanigans that happened in the first 2 matches with Owens and then the third match being a no DQ. And it was a great match. And MVP doing what he's got to do. I thought it worked. And now we have a fatal 4-way match, which, not for nothing, when was the last time we had a fatal 4-way for the title at a pay-per-view?
Ryan, on it.
It's been a minute.
It's been a while. So I'm.
Oh, yeah. Nope. Oh, technically, we lost Steve.
Oh, no.
I'm pretty fucking excited to see it, and it makes it.
Oh, is he back? No, he's back.
Welcome to my hell. Fucking Wi-Fi, and I've got the top of the line, as they say. Fucking bullshit. So what I'm saying is, I just it's good to see a fatal 4-way. It's going to be harder for Big E to retain, although my gut tells me Big E's keeping that title, but we'll get there as we get closer. But yeah, so I mean, there were some aspects of the show that actually it wasn't a bad show. It was booked in a way where even like they put Finn Balor and Damian Priest together, which was interesting. So they are trying to do some other shit. You know what I mean? I think it just comes down to it's 3 hours, no matter what you do.
Yeah, no
it's
matter
3
how you
hours.
slice it, that's rough. It's real rough.
I did like Seth Rollins' line about Bobby Lashley's suit game.
What did he say? I don't even.
Yeah, what was the line?
He's like, I love your suit game today. Like, you know.
Just kind of like acknowledging.
Yeah, just a throwaway line.
Yeah, because that was the reddest fucking suit I've ever seen.
That was a very red suit.
And one time I was walking through Mohegan Sun Casino. It wasn't even during a taping, so I don't even know what he was doing there. But Bobby Lashley was walking through the casino, and like he was dressed up. Like the guy, obviously being in good shape, you put on an expensive suit, you look like $1 million. But everyone just was.
One time, I went
God.
to a show at the Mohegan Center, and afterwards we were walking around through the casino, and I walked past one of the restaurants, and I look in, and at one of the front tables were the Dudley Boys. And who were the fucking French guys? Not the Quebecers.
La Resistance.
La Resistance. And they were all, and they had a match that night. And I was like, look at that. They're having burgers. It was funny.
Great. Yeah, it's always fun to watch. Like especially after, like if you go to a Raw or a SmackDown, at a casino or
they're always around.
They're always around. I saw Tim White, although he must have hated those things because Tim White, it's nice to see you're alive, and he's like, yeah. Do you remember those videos on WWE.com?
So bad.
They were so bad.
Oh, poor
bad. So anything else really on Raw? I mean, we're all getting ready for this day one. You know, which I don't know. I have mixed emotions about this pay-per-view and when it is, but that's whatever. But yeah, I mean, it's shaping up to be actually a pretty good pay-per-view on paper.
Yeah,
I'd say
it actually is, man. Like it'll be interesting to see how this shakes out because, like I said last week, I think for a new pay-per-view and it's day one, and frankly, like they kind of got AEW kind of has WWE on their back foot right now. If you're really calling a show like day one, some big shit's gotta happen. You know,
are the Usos wrestling on that?
What?
Are the Usos wrestling on that? Because they
are facing New Day for the tag titles.
Okay.
Oh, awesome!
Down since day one ish.
I think everything I'm hearing is that they're planning some huge finish for this Roman Brock, but I don't know what that means, and they're not really giving out any detail. But apparently this is going to be some huge, ridiculous fucking finish.
Is the ring going to break again?
I don't know.
Oh, come on. Don't put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby. Like, they just don't. Don't do that to me.
Don't put that into the universe.
Hey, listen, quite
Yeah, for
honestly,
real.
I happen to enjoy when the ring implodes, so that wouldn't bother me.
But
Yeah,
nothing
but
beats
just-
the first time.
Right. That's the thing. It's like, well, you can't blow your load.
Whoa,
Again.
okay. Wow.
You know what I mean? Like, it's just if it's already happened once, you can't have it happen
Yeah.
again.
It's happened 3 times.
And then what do we count about? What do we do we count the top rope snapping for
Then
Finn Balor?
Yokozuna.
How do we feel about
No, I didn't like that. That was horrible.
that? Yeah, that was silly.
That was just
It's
so
very
bad.
silly.
You know, but there was nothing better than when like Big Show and Brock
Yeah.
Big Show and Mark Henry broke the fucking ring and like,
Oh yeah,
Toyota
that
goes
was great.
flying and then out to the outside.
Well, and he
you
took
know.
this big stupid bump out of the ring as it was collapsing. Like, yeah, he was braver than me, man.
Yup.
Wasn't there one with Brock and Braun also?
Yeah, I think Brock and
Yeah, they did
Braun,
that.
or was it Braun and Big Show? There's somebody broke. I mean,
I think it was Braun and Big Show, I think. It might have been both, quite honestly.
I pop for the ring
So is
breaking
Big Show
anytime it
been
happens
involved
as
in
well.
all
But,
of them?
oh, was he involved in all of them? I don't know. But like, you're right, Steve. Like, you pop when the ring breaks, but I think like if they've already done it once, maybe give it this, whatever the next big guy is.
Yeah, I think for me, it's like you never get enough of that. I mean,
Yeah.
at the end of the day, I feel like Roman still has to retain.
Yeah.
But Brock can't lose cleanly again. I don't think. I don't know. I'm very undecided how this is going to go.
With you because if Roman's the guy. You can't be doing this to him. But
And if he's going to lose, it's got to be.
But I just don't know
who thing like a Mania or something.
Right? Yeah, you would think the title change to end this run that Roman is on would be, WrestleMania. Yeah, you would think it would be, and it would be a WrestleMania moment for somebody that isn't Brock Lesnar because he's already beaten them at WrestleMania. So, Brock's already. I mean, I was there. It happened in New Orleans. He already beat him, and then like the next week they had that stupid match in Saudi Arabia. But anyway.
Can you envision someone at this moment, like coming up to this next year's Mania, for to take it from Roman, or is that just another year out?
Oh, I don't know if anybody is at that point right now. You know what I mean? I just don't know if anybody is at that level. I mean,
I agree.
Roman's on a whole different level right now, so I don't know who else can kind of do it for him. But
They're probably going to extend the feud out with Brock till Mania.
Oh, to WrestleMania? Oh my God! Shoot me.
Right.
And on that note, boys, it's the top of the hour.
Top of the hour.
Vince,
All
take
right.
us home.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for sticking with us here tonight. Another successful edition of the War Report podcast brought to you by Tag Me a Date. Of course, you can follow us on social media at Tag Me a Date. We're on Instagram, Twitter, Periscope, Facebook. Everywhere you think we might have an account, just look up at Tag Me a Date. That's all one word, no spaces. Tag Me a Date. And that's the same on YouTube. If you go to YouTube and search for Tag Me a Date, you'll find our channel. Hit subscribe and the bell to get notifications when we upload a video or when we go live on Tuesday evenings at 6 p.m. on Eastern Time. If you're on Twitch rather than the Facebook live stream or the YouTube live stream, it's twitch.tv/War Report. And if you prefer the audio version of the podcast as opposed to the video versions of the podcast, you can always look up on your favorite podcast app of your choice, such as Stitcher, Spotify, SoundCloud, Google Podcasts, Google Play Podcasts, and Apple Podcasts. You look for Tag Me a Date or the War Report, and it should bring you our podcast. You can hit subscribe. The last 5 or 6 episodes are up. The next episode gets uploaded about within the hour of the episode being released that week. And again, we go live 6 p.m. Eastern Time. So if you are not in our time zone, set your clocks accordingly. or just subscribe to us on YouTube and hit that bell, and you'll know we're going live. But that's it for this week. Be sure to tell your friends, spread the word of the War Report. And yes, I guess I should address there is a second War Report podcast. Please make sure when you're subscribing that the graphic, the album cover, I guess you call it on the podcast, says both Tag Me a Date and the War Report on it. You'll know which one's which. It kind of looks like the Raw logo from like 3 years ago. Not with the triangle at the bottom of Raw like it is now, but the same kind of font, just flipped around, so it says War. You'll see it. Just subscribe to us. I'm sure the other War Report people are lovely, but I'd rather you listen to our podcast instead. So just make sure you're subscribing to the right War Report. That's it, folks. It's top of the hour. We're going to pack it up. Thank you so much for listening, and we will be back 6 p.m. Eastern Time next Tuesday, and we will see you then. Thank you for watching.